The lonely path to winning. Why success takes longer than you think. There is a hidden truth about success that most people overlook. There is a massive delay between when you start behaving like a winner and when you actually start winning. The bigger the goal, the longer the lag. This delay can feel endless, and it often causes people to quit before the results begin to show. This is where so many lose their way. You can be doing everything right, putting in the effort, staying disciplined, showing up every day. But because the feedback loop is so delayed, it is easy to think you are the wrong path, especially when the mountain you are climbing is steep and the vision you are chasing is ambitious. The silence from the world around you can be deafening. Pain becomes a constant companion. Growing a business is painful. Stagnting is painful. Declining is painful. So, no matter what stage you are in, discomfort is there. But if pain is always present, then maybe it is not a problem. Maybe it is just a signal that you are alive. Once you accept that, pain loses its power. It no longer needs to influence your decisions. You realize you can move forward regardless of how you feel. At first, doing the work when you feel terrible is hard, but over time, you build that muscle, and eventually, it is not even a question of how you feel, it becomes automatic. True champions don't wait to feel good. They don't even think about it. They have trained themselves to interpret nerves as excitement. To the butterflies that used to cripple them now fuel them. If you feel intense anxiety about something, whether it is a speech, a pitch, a lunch, it is usually a sign you have not practiced enough. Confidence is earned through repetition. You have got to do something so many times that by the end, you are bored of it. That boredom is the signal that you have done it enough to finally be great. Confidence, at its core, is just the belief that what you think will happen actually will, and that belief comes from evidence, real lived through repetitions. So, if you want to be confident, the answer is simple: do the thing more. The people who ultimately succeed are those who keep taking action without seeing immediate results. It is invisible grind at first, and then one day things start moving slower than you had like, but then at all once faster than you ever imagined. That sudden acceleration is that people notice, but they miss the years of lonely, slow progress that came before. The journey of personal growth requires befriending uncertainty. It means clapping for yourself in an empty room for a long time. It means believing in something that does not yet exist and being willing to defend that vision against criticism, doubt, and misunderstanding. When you try to pull something new into the world, whether it is a business, a book, or a dream, people will try to stop you, sometimes subtly, sometimes openly. They will call you controlling, intense, or unrealistic. But often, that criticism is more about them than you. It is a defense mechanism, a way to justify the risks they chose not to take. When you begin to change, you also disrupt the comfortable labels people have assigned to you. They may try to shove you back into a version of yourself they understand. That friction is uncomfortable, even painful, but it is necessary part of transformation. And if you are in that lonely, in between stage right now, where your old friends don't understand you anymore, and you have not yet stepped into the new version of yourself. Know that every person who has ever done something meaningful has been exactly where you are. Keep going, clap for yourself. You are not alone. The invisible signs of success. In a world saturated with content and constant noise, it is easy to question whether the time and energy you are investing is even worth it, especially where there are no obvious signs of success. But one of the most misunderstood and ironically accurate indicator of progress is resistance, particularly in the form of criticism and hate. That hate, it is sign you are on the right path. Success rarely announces itself with applause. It arrives wrapped in discomfort, rejection, and the urge to quit. The real mistake is not in facing adversity, it is in folding to it. Too many people retreat into the comfort of conformity when things get hard, forgetting they have already traveled that road and know exactly where it ends. And the truth is, if you want a life unlike the average, you simply cannot do what everyone else is doing. Unless, of course, you are content with the average outcome, something few genuinely aspire to. The early struggle, the feeling of being buried in the weeds, is where the most valuable skills are forged. These moments provide deep context, insight, and resilience. Things that will later set you apart, they become the arrows in your career when you face bigger challenges down the road. Expecting the journey to be easy is what makes it harder. The path of potential is steep, and if you feel like you are not living up to yours, that dissatisfaction will follow you until you do something about it. It is not ambition that causes pain, it is unspent potential. One of the most powerful mindsets during their periods is to see your struggles as the story you will one day tell. The harder the path, the greater the story, and the more extraordinary the hero who tells it. Winners define themselves by what they made happen. Losers define themselves by what happened to them. And here is the brutal truth, the lonely, grinding chapter of your life. The one that in movies is covered in a 90-second montage actually lasts 5 years. It is not the intensity for the information that wears people down. It is the relentless consistency. Most people don't fail because it is too hard. They fail because they stop. Ironically, success does not require the overwhelming effort most assume. People burn out from overexerting in short bursts, when what's really needed is sustainable